Aloha everybody and welcome to part 7 of Mega Man ZX. So before I move on to the next mission in the game, I figured I would return to the Guardian base to find some trinkets and also to show off that a lot of the members you rescue from other missions, like the Guardian members I saved from the fire, actually show up at the Guardian base after all is said and done. So you can actually make this place get a little bit bigger and more populated, so how about that? I mentioned this before in an earlier part, but I'm coming now to the second floor first warehouse door because the member here can actually give you an upgrade. Anguil finally finished the chip I requested. It's called an eraser chip, and it allows you to destroy enemy shots with your saber. Hell yeah. So just like the Zero series, there are upgradable body chips that you can equip to your character, and you can only equip one at a time, so you have to choose carefully which one you want to equip. But Eraser, since it's the only one we have, we can equip it, and now our Z-Saber, as well as Harpuya's blades, can slash out enemy bullets, generally the yellow energy pellets that the regular purple guys shoot at you, as well as turrets and whatnot, so that's always swell. As I mentioned before, if you're not getting level 4 victories, this is where you would upgrade the bio-medals. I mentioned before we got the first half of Harpuya and Fafnir's bio-medals, and that there's still another piece of Harpuya and Fafnir to find. And when we do, we'll have the second energy bar, making our weapon energy that much higher. But again, it'll be at its highest points once everything's level 4. And if you're level 4ing all the bosses, you can get full energy, as well as a decoration for Prairie's room. If you look in the top there, Fist Leo and High Volt have these little puppets up there, and that's because I got a level 4 victory on them. If you don't get a level 4 victory on them, those puppets do not show up. And since I'm going to be getting level 4 victories with every boss, eventually Prairie's room will have the entire Pseudoroid collection, because apparently she's a fan. Even though they're causing damage and harassing people and pretty much destroying the world. Yeah, but they're so freaking cool. I gotta get the High Volt action figure. So our next mission, ladies and gentlemen, is Find the Survivors. And Find the Survivors is found in Area F. Now, where would I find Area F? Obviously, I would go from Area E, because A, B, C, D, E, F, right? You naive little fools. No, actually, the gateway to Area F is in Area B. So in the last part, we got Fafnir fighting Fafnir. His arm cannons can shoot up to the ceiling. He can shoot them horizontally. And he has a secondary feature, thanks to the stylus touchscreen. And it allows you to actually change the angle of which Fafnir's bullets will travel. So you have about 4 movements, but you can decide that they're going to go up first and then they're going to go straight ahead. Or I could change the other arm and be like, it's going to go straight at first, but then it's going to go up at the last minute. So now that I've configured Fafnir's bullets like that, look at that. That's pretty damn useful for certain bosses, for certain levels and whatnot. Like, if there's a guy shooting straight ahead on a cliff above you and you don't want to jump up for him and you just sort of want the bullets to do the work, you can strategize and configure his buster shots in so many different ways to reach enemies who otherwise you'd have to get up close and personal in order to shoot, and I think that's pretty damn interesting. Fafnir's bullets are not to be underestimated, by the way. Usually when they hit a boss, they leave like the briefest of invulnerability periods, and they are stronger than a regular pellet. Like, if you're in Mega Man ZX form, in Mega Man X form, pretty much anything with a pellet, it's not going to be as strong as Fafnir's pellets. So they're big, they're powerful, they have a great fire rate, and they can do a lot of damage if you use them correctly. So Fafnir is not to be taken lightly. Those arm cannons are serious, serious business. So the only real clue we get as to finding the first 4 Pseudoroids is that after you've defeated Jiro, you basically get a yellow card key that allows you to open any yellow door on the map. And you've been noticing as we beat other Pseudoroids, we've been collecting other card keys as well. Beating High Volt got us the green card. We're a legal citizen. You can get the green card, the red card, the blue card, and when you keep getting all these cards, you can keep getting to areas you couldn't before, so that's always swell. But the yellow door does not lead to Area F. In this case, that area I couldn't get into before because I was Model X, and he can't shoot his X-Buster up to the ceiling. I can now slash with the ZX Saber, or Harpuya's Blades, or Fafnir's Ceiling Shots, and now I can get up here, and this is where you go in order to reach Area F. Again, I would recommend, if you're not going by a guide or a GameFAQs map, which eventually I just did because I didn't really like how this game was lying to me, or not lying to me, but it just wasn't telling me where to go, you know? Like, there's one area called Area L that I was just like, really? I would never think to look in here for Area L, but whatever. It's like, yeah, when you see the sign, you know it's there, but later, when you're doing missions, you forget about it. And although I've been gushing about the soundtrack dozens upon dozens upon dozens of times, I love this track in particular. Area F probably has my favorite theme in the game. Oh, by the way, you just saw me knock that shield guy flying. That's another feature of Fafnir. He actually has two features, which we're going to be seeing in this mission. But if you charge it up all the way to like green, and then you get up to something, he generally does like this big, strong like punch with his arms. And that punch is super powerful. It does more damage than obviously his pellets, and it can knock guys flying, even the shielded guys. So Fafnir is all about the power and the brute strength. You would be wise not to underestimate fighting Fafnir. And I'm sure if you haven't played the Zero series, you're like, just call them FX, because that's what I know them as. And I'm just going to be like, not my problem. Sorry, I played the Zero series first. That's what I know these guys as. Not my problem. But Fafnir's other ability, if you charge it up and let go, if you're not super close, he will shoot a wave of fire. And fire is good for destroying ice blocks. It is also good for destroying ice-related robots. And as you can guess, because of the terrain and the location here, we're going to be fighting an ice robot later. So, the reason I did the levels in this order, not only is the Harpuya form super awesome, but going all the way through here, smashing through the ice with Fafnir's fire, and then air dashing over those spikes with Harpuya's air dash leads you to that life up. So now I have 2 of 4 life ups. My health bar is getting there, it's super high now, and it can get only higher, which is always swell and good. Again, life ups are essentially the heart tanks of Mega Man ZX, but I don't think I need to explain this anymore. Down there is a pathway with a big bottomless pit and spikes at the ceiling, and you may think, well, nothing I can do about that area. Not yet, anyway. There's a particular biometal who can be used to traverse that area, but again, there's only like a data disk back there, or maybe it's related to a mission, but I don't like backtracking for data disks. If I don't have to, I'm not gonna. Is anyone here? I came to help. Tell me where you are. Strange, there's no reply. The source of the signal is definitely coming from near your position. The device emitting the signal should be close. Try to locate it. Yes, ma'am. Theme is so good. But these butterfly creatures that are flying through the sky, they will drop all of these ice chunks on you. And when the ice chunks are on you, it gets a little bit harder to jump around. And so if a giant polar bear is rolling a snowball after you, you might not be able to jump over it, and then you might take a hit, which is never swell. So, I mean, the icicles the butterfly drops on you don't hurt, but if you're trying to get to the butterfly in order to slash him or something, you might accidentally run your head into it because you forgot to slash the saber, you know? So that could be a little bit annoying. Sometimes, like, see, I just got hit there, and then I fell. Damn you, butterfly! But, you know, it's just always annoying when you got some kind of thing holding you down and then you can't really do all the jumps that you want to do. Damn it! I keep screwing this up. I should be able to get through here a lot faster, but for whatever reason I'm not doing it. But yeah, when I'm not the ZX form, I'm generally playing as Harpooya form because he's just so versatile. All that air dashing, his slashes, he's not as strong as the ZX form when it comes to melee weapons. I mean, he doesn't have the spinning slash, which is super friggin' useful. But I think that a jump slash from Harpooya form, HX form, is actually pretty damn useful anyway, so if ZX wasn't here, I'd definitely be using Harpooya as my main form, but, you know, I love the traditional ZX form, I like the Z-Saber, it's all hunky-dory to me. This sub-boss is very similar to the one in the power plant, the only difference is this time he's not driving to you, he's driving on this conveyor belt, which is pulling you to him. And if you get super close to him, he will drop that spike ball right on top of you. It's not a one-hit kill, but it will do a lot of damage. And I should have shown off Fafnir's power during this, but for whatever reason I never thought to. I mean, Fafnir can climb walls no problem, so I don't know why, but... Oh, I should mention that Fafnir can't run and shoot at the same time, though. So that might be a little bit of a problem here in the conveyor section. Well, not really. You're still walking away either way. You don't want to be standing on this thing. The conveyor belt moves pretty fast, but Fafnir cannot run and shoot at the same time. He has to be stationary. Prairie, I found the terminal has been sending out the signal, but there's no one around. What? I wonder what could have happened there. What's this? There's a data disk still in the terminal. I don't have much longer. I pray that this data doesn't fall into the wrong hands. The recon unit has unearthed a strange metal in this area. It seems conscious. It began to speak to us in our minds. The commander called it Biometal Model W. We continued to research the biometal under her orders. However, everyone was complaining of unexplained headaches and a strange numbness. Upon hearing this, she removed us from the site and continued the research on her own. Despite these precautions, our unit was annihilated. One of our own had suddenly gone mad. That's the end of the data. Sis, this is a report from the first commander's recon unit. The distress call must have been activated to make sure someone would find this data. But the recon unit is gone. Stay with me, Prairie. I need to know where the biometal is. Vent? Slitherink might have the rest of the data. Don't give up on your sister just yet. You're right. I'm sorry, Vent. I'm reading the biometal signature just beyond the locked door. We'll hack the lock from Guardian HQ. Looks like we're back in business. So now that we have the data disk, one of the doors in the big room I was climbing has opened up, and it's generally to the left, so look out for that. And that scene is actually different if you're playing as Ale. Again, I mentioned the key difference between the storyline with Vent and Ale is that although you're playing the same kind of archetype, you're a human who lost their mother 10 years ago in a Maverick raid. You can still go by the same beats, like Ale still fights Jiro, Jiro still gets killed, you still fight the same bosses, and there's no difference in gameplay aside from like crawling speed and like knockback and stuff, but that's pretty much it. You don't have different abilities or anything. That's ZX Advent. Some people think that Vent and Ale have different abilities, but no, they don't. Not in this game. In ZX Advent they do, but not in this game. You know, so I just wanted to mention that the exposition is a little bit different if you're playing as Ale. And I will be covering that in my extra Ale video after I beat this game, so don't worry about that. But, yeah, it's always worth paying attention to the story on a second playthrough, because if you're playing as a different gender, if you're playing as the different character, you might want to pay attention, because something might be different. They might be telling a different part of the story, you know? And the ice boss is going to be weak to fire, so I'm going to start off with Fafnir's form. Oh my, what's that disc you've got there? Ah, I thought I told you Mavericks to leave anything of importance with me! Huh, worthless fool! I knew it! You're after this disc! Where's the rest of it?
Oh my. You must be one of those horrid interlopers trying to stop poor Lord Serpent's plan. Well, I'm not telling you anything. So how do you like that? I am the lovely Pseudoroid Model L, Lurerre. I'm gonna tear you apart piece by piece. Prepare for the end, little man.
You're smaller than me. You have no right to be calling me little. Anyway, Lurerre's head is the biometal piece, so you gotta watch out for the head. I actually find this boss in particular, pretty damn easy to not only get a level 4 victory on, but also to just take on first. Like, if this is your first Pseudoroid, you don't have any life ups, all you have is the ZX form, Lurerre is pretty damn easy. Just keep aiming for the legs for a level 4 victory, don't aim too high for the head. There's a lot of attacks associated with this chick. She loves to lay down icicles. She likes to shoot icicles in, like, rows of 2, and you can either jump over all of them, slide under them, or try and jump in the middle if you're far back enough, you know? Don't stay to the right too much, because she's connected to this big fish thing that will try and chomp you, and dash to the left if you can. She is weak against fire, but if you run out of energy, don't worry, the ZX Buster is pretty damn powerful as it is. This boss is simple. I have no real tips for her because there's not much to it.
I am the biometal of the ice, Model L. Thank you for freeing me from that awful body. You're looking for the rest of that data disk, right? I'm sorry, but it has already been taken away somewhere. 100 years have passed since the war, but it looks like some things will never change. A man named Serpent is attempting to reawaken Model W. To stop him, I need your help and the password. Model Z, I heard the story about Serpent. I knew you were linked with a host body, but I heard he beat you in combat.
Yes, my failure led to the death of a good man named Jiro.
I see. Alright, I'll join you. It should be an interesting challenge to take on the one who bested the great Model Z. I'll give you my password, but the data is split into 2 halves. The other Pseudoroid with my power has the remaining half. I won't be able to give you the complete password until you defeat him.
Yeah, we've all heard this before. So, ladies and gentlemen, we now have Model LX, based off of Leviathan. And this model has a big scepter, a nice trident thing that you can use to slash people with. But the most interesting thing about Model LX is that she can swim. You can stay floating in the middle of the water, you can dash under the water, you can also use a spinning trident while underwater as a weapon attack, which is always swell. And she does have an overdrive move so that you can apply the ice element to all of your slashes. As you can guess, she'll be crucial for making certain water pathways a lot more manageable. But now that we got Model LX, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the next mission in Part 8. So, till then.